Could you keep a child alive in the Stone Age? You're a parent, you know the instinct, that fierce, biological command that says you would do anything, sacrifice anything, to protect your child. It's a promise written into your DNA. But what if that promise was tested not by the anxieties of the modern world, but by the brutal, unfiltered reality of the world that made us? What if you had to keep your child alive 40,000 years ago in the Upper Paleolithic? You have your modern mind, your instincts, your love, but you have no antibiotics, no supermarkets, no locked doors. It's just you, your child, and a million years of evolution staring you in the face. You think you know what survival means. You don't. Not yet. The cry starts as a whimper. It's 4 in the morning, the fire is just embers, and the sub-zero air bites at your skin. The child in your arms, wrapped in stiff animal hide, is cold and hungry. Her needs are absolute, immediate, and all-consuming. But you are also dangerously low on calories, the gnawing ache in your own stomach, a constant dull alarm. The tracks you found yesterday belonged to a cave hyena, and it's still out there, in this valley. Every calorie you burn to keep her warm is one you don't have for the hunt. Every minute you spend soothing her is a minute you aren't scanning the tree line for danger. Your modern brain screams that you must protect your child at all costs. But a 40,000-year-old voice in your bones whispers a chilling truth. At all costs might cost you both everything. You are faced with the first and most brutal question of parenthood in the Stone Age. How do you choose between your child's survival and your own? Your trial begins at birth. In our world, childbirth is a medical event. In the Paleolithic, it's a crucible. The human pelvis, narrowed by our journey to walking upright, makes birth uniquely difficult and dangerous. The risk of obstruction, hemorrhage, and infection for both you and your infant is terrifyingly high. There's no sterile equipment, no emergency C-section, only the hands of the other women in your group and a desperate hope that everything goes right. But let's say you're both lucky. You survive. The baby is healthy. Now the real work begins. Your child is the most calorically expensive creature imaginable. For the first several years of its life, it is a pure consumer, and you are its sole source of perfect nutrition. Breast milk. Based on our hominin relatives and modern foraging societies, this was a long-term commitment, likely lasting for several years. This isn't just for food. Your milk provides a vital stream of immune factors, your infant's only real defense against a world of pathogens. The physical drain is immense. A lactating mother needs hundreds of extra calories every single day. That means more foraging, more hunting, more risk. And you have to do it all with a completely dependent infant. You can't just leave her in the cave. A child left alone is a tragedy waiting to happen. So you have to carry her. While carriers made of hide and fiber have long since decayed, a discovery in Italy gives us a stunning clue. In a 10,000-year-old burial, an infant girl nicknamed Neve was found with over 70 shell beads that show where. One compelling interpretation is that these beads were sewn onto a baby sling, used to keep her close and safe while her parents moved and worked. It's a solution born of necessity. You craft a sling from hide, keeping your child secure against your body. But this adds weight, throws off your balance on treacherous terrain, and occupies your hands and your attention. Every berry you gather, every root you dig, is done with one eye on your task and the other on the precious, vulnerable life you carry. Your world is a minefield of dangers, seen and unseen. For your modern child, a scraped knee is a minor drama, fixed with antiseptic and a bandage. For your Stone Age child, a simple cut from a sharp rock can introduce bacteria that lead to a fatal infection. There are no antibiotics. There is only the body's own immune response and a desperate hope. And then there are the diseases. Your child has no vaccines, And while your small nomadic band is protected from the kind of sweeping pandemics that plagued later cities, you don't have the widespread herd immunity we rely on today. A respiratory infection, a bout of diarrhea from contaminated water, these aren't inconveniences, they're life-threatening crises. Any infection that causes fever, dehydration, or weakness could easily be a death sentence for a small child. Beyond these invisible killers are the ones with claws and teeth. Today, you are an apex predator. 40,000 years ago, you are very much on the menu. And predators are opportunists. They target the young, the weak, and the isolated. Your child is an easy meal. Your group lives where the resources are, which is exactly where your competition lives. The nights are filled with the sounds of cave lions, larger than their modern African cousins. Leopards, formidable hunters of primates, are a constant threat. Packs of massive cave hyenas, powerful enough to crush bone, would have viewed a human camp as a buffet, and an unattended child as an irresistible target. Fossil remains of our hominin relatives bear the tooth marks of big cats, a chilling reminder that for most of our history, we were the hunted. Your life as a parent becomes a state of hypervigilance. Every snap of a twig, every shadow at the edge of the firelight sends a jolt of adrenaline through you. You can never, ever fully relax. The final hurdle in these early years is the weaning crisis. Your child must transition from milk to the solid food of your band. This is a period of immense vulnerability. Their digestive system isn't ready for the tough, fibrous, and often contaminated food adults eat. Isotopic analysis of ancient teeth gives us a window into this perilous process. Much later, in the Neolithic period, we find small spouted vessels that may have served as baby bottles for prepared gruels, showing how critical this transition was. But for you, no such tools exist. You must find the softest meat, chew roots into a pulp, and carefully select berries you know are safe, all while your child's body slowly adapts. Given this relentless onslaught, the statistics are grim. Analysis of archaeological sites and modern hunter-gatherer groups has led some researchers to estimate that child mortality was tragically high. Perhaps a third, or even up to half, of all children may not have survived to see their 15th birthday. It is a world defined by loss. You've been picturing this struggle, haven't you? You, the lone parent, fighting against the world for your child. A solitary figure, heroic in your desperate, unending effort. And that is precisely why you would fail. You're imagining yourself doing this alone. Your ancestors never did. The cultural myth you've absorbed of the rugged individual, the lone survivor against a hostile wilderness, is a modern fantasy. It's the story we tell in our movies, but it is not how we became human. To survive the Stone Age, let alone raise a child in it, required something far more powerful than individual strength. It required the one true superpower of Homo sapiens, the group. You are not one parent against the world. You are part of a band of 20, 30, maybe 50 people. A multi-generational, cooperative unit of siblings, cousins, parents, and elders. And when your child is born, it's born not just to you, but to the entire group. This is the world of alloparenting, cooperative child-rearing, and it is the secret to our species' success. That cry that wakes you in the cold darkness is not your burden alone. In the morning, you don't face the impossible choice of taking your child into danger or leaving her undefended. Instead, you hand her to your own mother. This is the foundation of a powerful idea called the grandmother hypothesis. This evolutionary theory suggests that the long post-menopausal lifespan of human females isn't an accident, but a profound adaptation. A grandmother, freed from bearing her own children, could dedicate her energy and immense life experience to helping raise her grandchildren. In fact, studies of some traditional societies have shown that the presence of a maternal grandmother can significantly boost a child's chances of survival. She helps find food, she watches for danger, She cares for the child, freeing you to gather the high-calorie resources needed for your own survival. But it isn't just grandmothers. Your child is passed from arms to arms. An older sibling, your sister who is also nursing, your uncle mending a spear by the fire. We see powerful examples of this among modern hunter-gatherer groups like the Ife, where infants have been observed being held by many different caregivers in a single hour. This constant social contact is the safety net. If you get sick, other mothers might nurse your child. If a parent dies, the child isn't an orphan. They are simply absorbed into the web of kinship. The burden that would crush one person becomes manageable when shared across a dozen shoulders. This collective isn't just a pool of labor, it's a living library. You aren't figuring this out as you go. You are inheriting generations of wisdom. The women teach you which plants are safe during pregnancy, which roots must be cooked for a weaning toddler, which leaves might soothe a fever. The use of willow bark, which contains the active compound in aspirin, was documented by Hippocrates and likely goes much deeper into our past. This wasn't guesswork, it was an empirical tradition, knowledge tested and refined over millennia. This social safety net also reveals something profound about the emotional lives of our ancestors. It's easy to assume that with such high child mortality, parents would become numb, emotionally distant from their children to shield themselves from pain. The archaeology tells a different story. It screams of love. Go back 34,000 years to a place called Sungir, near modern-day Moscow. Archaeologists there uncovered the burial of two children, a boy around 12 and a girl around 10, laid head to head. They weren't just buried. They were adorned with over 10,000 mammoth ivory beads, a staggering investment of time, with some estimating each bead took an hour to make. They were buried with full-sized ivory spears, not toys. Even more telling, analysis suggests one of the children had severely bowed legs and would have had limited mobility from a very young age. This individual would have faced significant challenges as a member of a mobile group. Yet the band invested in them, cared for them for years, and when they died, mourned them with an astonishing, resource-intensive burial. This is not the act of a people callous to death. It is an undeniable testament to love, to the value of every individual, and to the depth of sorrow. So, could you, a modern parent, keep a child alive in the Stone Age? Alone, your chances would be terrifyingly slim. You'd be overwhelmed by the caloric debt, the constant vigilance, the invisible threats, and the ever-present predators. Your individual love, no matter how fierce, would likely not be enough. But your ancestors were never lone wolves. They were a pack. For the vast majority of our time on Earth, survival wasn't a story of individual heroism, but of collective resilience. Parenting was a team sport. The answer to the impossible question, how to choose between your survival and your child's, was simple. You almost never had to. Someone always had your back. Your grandmother, your sister, your clan. We are the descendants not of the strongest individuals, but of the best cooperators. The deepest parts of our nature were forged not in isolation, but in the intricate, supportive, and loving web of the group. We are all the children of the tribe. If this story made you rethink what it truly means to be human, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into our shared past. What part of Stone Age life surprises you the most? Let us know in the comments below.